Drag, and the solid movie, 99 dollars. 32-inch LCD TV, $2.99. LG4. I don't want to set the world on fire. I just want to start a flame in your heart. In my heart I have but one desire, and that one is you. No other will do. I've lost all ambition of worldly acclaim. I just want to be the one you love. And with your admission that you feel the same, I'll have reached the goal I'm dreaming of. Believe me, I don't want to set the world on fire. I just want to start a flame in your heart. Only joking. I do actually want to set the world on fire. Every last little bit of it. Especially the animals. Especially the rainforests. The little animals. The little cute little furry animals that live in the rainforests. The cute little furry animals. The slimy, scary animals. All the animals. Burn them all. Fuck them. Let's build pipelines and industry and I don't know, a whole bunch of other shit. Shopping malls. Those are good. We like shopping malls. Do you know what we need? We need more adult bookstores. There was one in Southampton, an adult store, a sex shop. They sold, adult magazines and videos and sex toys and all that kind of shit. My good friend, the Big Gay Sam, showed it to me because I never was aware that it was there. It's quite a nondescript store. It doesn't have a big sign out front saying, "This is a sex shop." So I wasn't really aware of its presence. It's very close to where I live. But I guess because of, COVID and such, it's closed down. And I never really paid it any mind. I'd never had reason to go in there or anything. But recently, I think, partly for my own sort of personal entertainment, and also, as I've mentioned, wanting to do like a porn magazine with all my ballpoint drawings. I've been looking into, porn mags for research on like how I should make it look, because I want it to look like a cheap, scuzzy porn mag. I don't want it to be like upmarket, like Playboy or something. I want it to be nasty, cheap and nasty, like me. And for most of that stuff, I can just go to, corner shop, and off license, just grab a couple of top shelf magazines, which I probably will do. But I wanted to do it, to go to like an adult store and buy stuff from there. But it's closed down, the one right by me. So there's places you can buy them online, but as I always say, I like buying shit in person, especially pornography, because that's one of those sort of like adult experiences I've not actually yet experienced. I've bought alcohol, bought 18 movies, violent films, video games and stuff. And it's those sorts of things that, like, when you're young, you're like, oh, when I'm older, I can buy porn, I can buy booze and this and that. It's like I never actually bought physical pornography because it's all online, isn't it? And it'd be cool. It would be cool. It'd be really cool if I could go buy some porn mags. That'd be cool. Wouldn't that be really cool? Wouldn't that make me a really cool person if I could go and buy some porn? Oh, hi everyone! I don't want to set the world on fire. Yes, I've been playing a lot of Fallout again. I've been going back into it. I dip in and out, dip in and out. Fallout now and again, mainly just for the atmosphere. Which, again, Fallout 3 has the best sort of general post-apocalyptic atmosphere of those sorts of games. I'm aware there are other games out there that, exist in a post-apocalyptic realm. But Fallout does have something to it, doesn't it? It has a sort of a vibe with the vaults and all that whole side of it. It does have like an element that sort of... Because other post-apocalyptic games are sort of... The post-apocalypse is just the setting. It's not really about that. It's like an action game in a post-apocalyptic whatever. Whereas Fallout, the whole point of it, the name is Fallout. It's nuclear fallout. That's a thing. It's not just happens to be called Fallout. It's about, life in a nuclear wasteland. And so that's why I play those games, to try and get that vibe, because I've said it again and again and again, but the post-apocalyptic Millhouse comic, I'm building and building that in my mind space. So yeah, playing Fallout to sort of like get into that kind of zone, because Fallout is a very sort of the tone I'm going for. I want Fallout crossed with Simpsons, but Simpsons Hit and Run / Fallout is sort of what I'm going for. Again, I really do need to like step up my video game though, because I only play it on my old ass Xbox 360, which isn't connected to the internet or anything. And the mods and things they're doing now, they're recreating like Fallout 3 with Fallout 4's engine and like all the DLCs, and they're recreating New Vegas with Fallout 4's engine, and like that's really cool. That's something I'd like to get involved with, but I can't. Anyway, so that song that's at the opening of Fallout 3 has been in my head a lot lately because I've been playing Fallout. I don't want to set the world on fire. There's another song in that which bugs the hell out of me. I don't know. I've not looked it up. Maybe I should, but it's how does it go? I've only got the tune in my head of that one. Fuck. What? Bonga, 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 I don't want to leave the Congo, I don't want to go. Something like that. Fuck, what is it? But there's a line in it. Oh, there are things like the atom bomb. That's the line. So the song is about wanting to live life in the Congo and have a nice, easy life versus wanting to live in the city around civilized people. The tone of the song it feels pretty racist, and I'm guessing it's from like the 50s or 40s or something, that Americana that the Fallout world is set in. So there's that song, and then one of the lines in the song is you've got the female singers and the guy singer, and the female singers are talking about, I guess, civilization, And they go, they have things like the atom bomb. And then the guy goes, oh, I think I'll stay where I am. Like to rhyme, but it bugs the hell out of me. And every time, if I'm playing the game and you walk past a radio in the game and that song's playing, I have to stop and listen to it to hear that line just so I can hate that line. Just fucking... Bunga, 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 I don't want to leave the Congo. Oh, no, 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 no. That's it. That's the tune. Binga, banga, bongo, I don't want to leave the Congo. I refuse to go. Ba, 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 banana. Bunga, 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 I don't want to leave the Congo. Oh, no, 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 no. Do, 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 do. Binga, banga, bongo, I'm so happy in the Congo. I refuse to go. Da, 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 da. Oh, they have things like the atom bomb. Oh, I think I'll stay where I am. Civilization, I'll stay right here. Bunga, 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 I don't want to leave the Congo. Oh, no, 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 no. Choo-choo-doo. Binga, banga, bongo, I'm so happy in the jungle. I refuse to go. Do, 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 do. Yeah, so I remembered it then. But it's just that one line. There's a couple of similar bits like that where they twist the rhyme of a word or the sound of a word in order to make it rhyme. Which, you know, that's... I am an antichrist. I am an anarchist. Not great, but it's a classic for what it is. You know, that's a thing people do. You twist how a word is formatted in order to make it fit what you're doing, you know. But it's just that they have things like the atom bomb. Oh, I think I'll stay where I am. And there is that pause in the song as well. So he's obviously, you know, sort of winking at it, being like, I think I'll stay where I am. Like, I know this doesn't actually rhyme, but, you know, I don't want to set the world on fire. I just want to start a flame in your heart. Oh, gee, I have to pee. I'll be back. Binga banga bongo, I'm so happy in the jungle, I refuse to go. Do 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 do. I think the main thing slowing me down on getting the Millhouse comic done is just the first few pages. I'm figuring out in my head exactly how I want to do the first few pages, because it's going to be a brief sort of like backstory of, I'm sure I've said it before, but of saying how, you know, tensions were high in the world, all of the, you know, the world's leaders had their fingers on the button ready to go. Nobody knew who pushed it first, but someone did. And then, you know, the bombs started flying. Everyone was scared, tensions were high, no one knew what to do. People ran and hid here and there and blah, 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 blah. So I'm just working out how to tell that visually, probably over like 2 to 3, 4 or 4 pages. And, you know, it'll be Simpsons, not direct Simpsons characters, but Simpsons looking characters. Fingers on the buttons will be, you know, big chunky Simpson hands with the 3 fingers pressing the buttons, and then missiles, look, pictures of missiles launching, you know, a picture of the map with all the lines going across it, pictures of you know, I guess a few pictures of, I might even like redraw actual images from like the news and or whatever of people running from bomb blasts and homes explode, those sorts of, you know, fun, happy, nice comic book imagery of that variety, those sorts of things. So that's the, because I know once I've got those pages in my head, like figured out, you know, I'll do some doodles to try and help myself along, give myself a hand job. But for the most part, yeah, if I get those pages figured out, then the rest will sort of happen organically, yeah. This is the Joker and Batman. If you weren't able to tell that already, this is a commission. It's quite funny, actually. I just finished a commission for the same person who commissioned this, which is fucking nice and sweet. Possibly one of the most sweetest, nicest, most wholesome things I've ever painted. It's the guy's kid as Spider-Man, swinging around with Spider-Man over like generic city shapes. I was really happy with that. A little bit like, oh god, I hope I get the likeness right, and what pose do I draw Spider-Man in? And I figured it out fairly quick, got it all done, and yeah, I think the likeness is good, and I'm happy with that. So he commissioned me to do that, and to paint a picture of the Joker laughing maniacally over a bloody and beaten Batman. So it's quite a funny, like a juxtaposition of these two paintings, which is cool. I'm down for that. I'm cool with that. I like it. I like the mix that the guy's going to have of these two pieces. So I've got, yeah, sort of maniacal Joker traced. This is my rough-ty rough. I had a few rough sketches of, like, I think I had another sheet as well. Yeah, sort of trying to figure out. So this is like, let's use another pen so I don't run just the one out. Joker laughing face here. His fists here. His legs here, and then this is old Batsy sort of lying down. Yeah, those sorts of poses. But then I was trying to do it like, I guess similar to this, where I've got anatomy and it all sort of makes sense. And I was trying to figure out how to do that, to have it all work. But then sometimes you just have to say fuck it. And so I just drew like shapes. So it's not necessarily anatomically correct. It doesn't really like work technically, but it looks good. It's nice visually. I like this, the tightness here with the fists and then the legs spread out. And it looks a little bit like he's riding Batman in a sexual way. Obviously, that's not the case. That would be, you know, very enjoyable. I'd be into that. And I am wondering if it would be proper or not to put his hand here like this. I can paint that over that if needs be, or I can keep it in the final piece. Yeah, it looks a little bit sexual, but there will be, you know, a shitload of blood over Batman's face and such, which will hopefully make sure the tone is where it ought to be. Batman's cape coming down, and for the background I'm going to do like light grey fading to oh no, the other way, black up the top, and then fading to like a light grey background with Batman dark, and then this is going to be like a shock of green hair against the black background, so that will really stand out. And I'm also thinking, because it's almost like it works sort of, well, it doesn't work, but it's, you know, the upside down face, it's almost like a playing card. So what I will do as well, I'm thinking, because this will be black here and like whatever grey and blue here, so I'll make a little stencil of a J, like a Joker card, and then I'll red spray paint that stencil there and there, and then with the white border and all, that would be quite cool. I think that would be quite cool. There's a little spiral in his mouth instead of a tongue, just because I might try to make it quite painterly instead of really like rendered. So these are my ideas for this piece. I think it'd be a fun one to paint. So obviously I did that whole like £50 commission thing, which a lot of people we're into. So I've got a long list of commissions to do, which is really cool. I'm so glad that so many people were in it because, you know, I kind of needed the money. So I see my PayPal fill up and I'm like, okay, cool. I'm okay for a little while. Money's not bad coming in. Then I look at the list and I'm like, oh, fuck. Now I have so many things to draw and paint that I have to draw and paint. So they'll keep me busy for a while. But with them, and obviously I'm going to try and put in a correct amount of effort to make them good pieces, but still keeping in mind they're £50. I can't be spending days on each painting. Some of them are just drawings, some of them are full paintings. So I'm going to try to make them, to try and have fun with them, make them more painterly, a bit more experimental, rather than painstakingly rendering, you know, every last little bit. Ooh, let's take a look at number 6. Las Grande Finale. The grand finale, book 6, the final one in the series of Katsuhiro Otomo's masterpiece, Akira. We've gone through it all, bit by bit, book by book. Even spent 2 episodes on book number 4. It's the biggest one. These colour pages are really cool in this one. Look at the fucking brickwork and stuff in that. Bananas, man. This is the exact kind of shit I want to be doing in my upcoming post-apocalyptic comic. But also, my post-apocalyptic comic is going to be set in Springfield, which doesn't really have skyscrapers and shit. They've got like smaller buildings, a few sort of like tower blocks and things, but not anything as immense as, oh shit, I missed that page, didn't I? As this. That's fucking cool. Is that the cover? No, it's similar parts, but not exactly. Fucking good shit, man. Good shit right away. Good shit. So this is it. This is the it all comes to a head. Book 6. Tetsuo's fucked. I guess this is where he's going to swell up. I thought it happened earlier than this. Like I say, it's been well over 10 years. Maybe more towards 14, 15 years since I've actually paid attention to these books and read them. So yeah, I didn't remember when. I thought it was a lot earlier that he actually got swole. Oh, that's nice. Frotch. Love a good bit of frotching. Oh, that's nice. And he's got a really good mix of mechanical bits with biological gunk spooging out of him with his hand under there. God, my hand. Oh, it's so good. There's your body horror right there. That's a cool panel. That's a cool panel too. And that's a cool panel too. And that's a cool... I like this. The little figure. I guess that's the Colonel or whatever. Oh, the swelling's got down. He just regrew his arm. Yeah, that's nice. Number 41. Oh, that's not a gun. That's the laser pointing device for the satellite, isn't it? I got my arm back. My arm. And my hand. Click. Pew. What the? An American attack? Tetsuo! Miyako's people! Don't fucking lose it. It's fired. It's fired. The Sol laser. Third attack wing. Prepare to launch. So what, they think it's fucking an attack on the country from something. But it's actually just the Colonel trying to kill Tetsuo, which apparently didn't work. There's the Colonel on the stairs, and I assume that's Tetsuo. Yeah. So much for that. Whoa! Flash! Oh, that's fucking good, man. The detail and that, all the little lines of veins and shit. And I love like the fleshy, just like tendrils. They're it's almost plant-like, where you can see it's all going towards this thing, all like these little bits just going, just little bits of flesh sort of reaching out, all reaching towards that thing. Oh, that's so good. I mean, that's cool. The way the flesh is almost like folding, like ribbon-like. Or sort of almost like Spider-Man's webs, you know. Twisting fucking shit. Just creeping up behind him and then sticking onto him. And you know that's going to be like fucking glue. It's not just like holding him. It's like fucking absorbing into the leather of his jacket or whatever. Oh, he's fucking all swelling up and shit. There's his eyes. Ah, his giant baby man. Ah. Click, click, click. He's trying to fire the laser, but it's not working. What's wrong with it? Oh my god. Shit, let me go. Yeah. You're dead, suckers. Jesus. It's a K just walking right into it. Like it's nothing. Like it tweren't nothing. Or something. Jumping away from it. I don't know. I don't know what happened. That's cool. All the texture. The sense of scale there is really good. That's just like her little person right there with their shadow there. And then Tetsuo's giant swollen head and his big baby hand. Glish. Glorp. She went in one end or side, came out the other. Splish. That's so good. I need to learn more of doing this shit, of like exit wounds. I look up like milk splash. I literally Google image milk splash when I'm looking up that sort of thing. Because milk, where it's thicker, when it splashes, it's like water when it splashes, you know, it just sort of goes psh. But milk sort of holds together almost more because it's more viscous or just thick. Not even viscous, but yeah, just sort of like a thicker liquid. So when you're trying to draw it, it sort of holds, it's got some body to it instead of all just being watery. Like that, like it's almost like cream as opposed to, you know, blood or whatever. That's cool. Ooh, his swellingness has gone down. His hand's disconnected, but then I guess reconnects, and he's coming out of it all. Oh, that's really fucking good, man. Oh, his little penis. Gary. Tetsuo. That's Tetsuo's little girlfriend. Oh, I feel like I'm going to sneeze. I apologise if I sneeze. I don't mean to. I'm sorry. I'm trying to hold it in. Oh dear. He's not happy about his girlfriend being dead. Tetsuo, we need your power. Did he get shot? Stab, stab. Shot by something. Stab, stab. Jesus. You're fucking roiling the beast. God, that's so good. Holy shit. Going into swollen Tetsuo mode again. I didn't realise it happened so many times. Oh, again, try not to sneeze. I'm sorry. Dum, 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 dum. Every episode. Every episode. It's Akira. They're all reunited. Kaneda, Kazuki, long time no see. They're going to try and kill Tetsuo. Oh, he's got clothes. He's taking them off that guy. That's cool. Doesn't have to walk around naked the whole time. That would feel a bit silly, wouldn't it? Trying to fight all these people with your fucking wanger flipping about. Flip-flopping here and there. Kaneda's got his what's the word for it? His very recognisable laser gun. There's all those sort of like promo images of Kaneda with the laser gun. I drew a picture of Kaneda as a commission. I don't think I scanned it in before I sent it off. It's a bit silly of me, wasn't it? You, K. At this point, I'm just flipping through it just to be like, hey, look at it, rather than look at this, look at that. Let's see what's happening here and here and here. Because it's all drawing collapsing buildings and explosions and shit. You just marvel at the detail and the sense of space and shape and size and scale and shit. Ugh. Ooh, the jets are coming. Wow. That's fantastic drawing as it is. The jet is a fantastic drawing. Just as fantastic as those are, these little like shantytown tents, like bits of rubble and tarpaulins and shit and pipes and rubble and you know, some people, Image Comics for instance, especially early Image Comics, I've said before, so much of those would almost have just, especially like Rob Liefeld, would have no backgrounds. They'd maybe give you an establishing shot just to let you know we're in this building or this area. Oh, sorry. And then there'd be like fight scenes, action scenes. So the whole point is, and I do it with Gun Viking as well because fuck it. But the person drawing, you know, cool looking heroes in action poses fighting each other with weapons and hair and shoulder pads and pouches and pouches and pouches, action shots and foreshortening and stuff again and again and again, because that's what they want to draw. So they make comics about that shit. And you could almost consider them sort of one-trick ponies. But then you get people like this guy, and there's lots of other people that are good as well, but where everything is drawn well. Everything is drawn, and everything is drawn well. He doesn't shy away from like, oh, this is a building scene, so I've got to give the impression of buildings. He goes, right, they're outside, there's buildings, they're collapsing, so I'll draw the buildings and collapsing and explosions and the people and all the creases in all their clothing. and it's all drawn well. The proportions, the scale, the level of detail. It doesn't skimp anywhere. He's not like a one-trick pony. He does it all. The action scenes are really, really good and well laid out. And, you know, they still remain expressive and stuff. Just, he does it all. Does it all. He's really good. You know. What more can I say? Jeebus. Oh, clocks him with the butt of the laser gun. Probably wasn't a smart move. The satellite. He's kicking him in. It's not very friendly. He's your friend from childhood. Can't be kicking him in like that. I mean, I know he's been attacking you and trying to destroy shit, but come on now. Having problems with your power? I love the shading on the face, like giving the sort of shadow / double lighting effect. Very simple, but very effective. We like it, we like it. What are you waiting for? Tetsuo! Ooh, the laser's fired again. Coom. Oh no, it's going to coom all over the place. Ooh. Run! Prepare to fire again. Just firing the fuck out of that laser. Jesus. Fire! Widen the target to the entirety of Neo Tokyo. Send it to the bottom of the sea. They just want to get rid of the whole fucking place. Oh, shit. Someone's fighting back. Was that Tetsuo? Jumping up to fight back the laser beam. Oh, this guy's name's Joker, I believe. Joker, there you go, yeah. Joker, you're gonna wreck us. You know, I was drawing the Joker and it's Joker. Ooh, that satellite laser got fucked up, didn't it? Tetsuo fucking riding it towards Earth. Jesus. The laser cannon is still functional. Jesus. Crashing the fucking space laser into an aircraft carrier. Ah! Alright, so for this scene, you've got to draw an aircraft carrier blowing up because the space lasers just crashed into it with, you know, jets and missiles and people flying everywhere. Go ahead, draw that. How do you even start? Christ, it's fucking Jeep as well. I wouldn't know where the fuck to begin drawing something like that. Jesus Christ. Cowrie. She's just a ghost or something. I failed. She's gone. Cowrie. Christ. Not even halfway through. I don't want to fucking drag this out any longer than I really need to. Just, you get the idea. There's all these subplots and other characters and behind the scenes stuff. But we just want to see Tetsuo being a big swollen badass. Akira, if he comes along and does anything. Look, he's chilling on the Akira chamber. Fucking containment chamber. Oh no. His arm's going again. It's gonna happen again. Ah! 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 Canada, help me. That's in the film. Ah. Eyeball and brain, all kinds of shit. You see shit like that and you're like, oh, that'd be weird if that happened. You get like here, I get it quite often where, you know, you just get a hangnail and just a bit of skin comes off and there's the littlest, tiniest hole here, but it gets infected. You just get a bit of dirt in it, the smallest bit of dirt, and it gets infected, swells up just a little bit. It's pink, maybe there's a little bit of like pus underneath, and it just, whenever you like press it down against something, you get like, fuck, like it just kind of hurts. Imagine that over your whole fucking body. Like over your whole hand would be like, what the fuck, ow, it hurts so much. But if your whole body was doing that, the amount of pain you'd be in. Because you can see this in a comic and go, oh, that's cool. It must be uncomfortable. But then you see him like screaming, help me and stuff. Like that can't be good. And you know, I know he's got powers and I'm sure he can stand the pain in certain ways, but that would be my face the entire time. Like, oh God. I'm in unbelievable pain constantly. He's absorbing him. Oh. Oh, he does just look like a little baby, doesn't he? A very weird, wrinkly, veiny baby. Which is what my penis looks like to do. Man. Fuck, that's cool. Big baby riding the containment chamber. I literally feel like it's never ending. I feel like it's not getting smaller no matter how much I flip through it. I just want to fucking get through it at this point. Which, again, it goes to the power of his ability of storytelling, that he doesn't just have it over in a few pages. He really shows you this thing is happening and it's going on. And he's really taking his time showing it happening and everyone around it interacting with the scene while it's happening and shit. Oh, they got their friend Akira back. Oh, all the weird little kids. Oh, and they all look normal again. Oh, can he use the power? Akira? Uh-huh. Gonna get Akira to fuck him up, make everything better. Lady Miyako. Oh God. Another laser. So Kay's been given powers and she's flown up to another space laser that's fired down, and then fucking like the laser bent into fucking Tetsuo. It moved aside. Or was that Tetsuo? Oh, Jesus. I don't even know what's happening now. Big explosion. That's so good. Just pure white space that sort of like fits the form And here it's faded, but there, just that as the explosion, like that. And then putting all this, it's not just drawn, but it's drawn and it's got the duotone to put it in shadow, all crumbling around the edges as this is moving outwards. God damn. He's awakened. Oh God, is that Akira doing his thing? Is that explosion's just expanding. I think it is. There's Akira up in space with his pals doing his thing. Also, the one on the ground is Tetsuo, and then the one in the sky is Akira. They're fighting two Akira phenomena. They're melding or something. Akira is absorbing it. There's Kaneda wrapped up in it. Oh, that's fucking good. Weird abstract shit, man. It looks like an eye, doesn't it? So good. Where? Oh, there's all this shit. Flashbacks and all kinds of shit. Tetsuo's life. Why is a big baby? The memory of life itself. Into the organs, into the DNA, the molecular makeup, the memory of the cell, the memory of the molecules, the memory of an entire universe. The vast power was released. Akira. Huh? And then the experiments began, explaining how it all came to be. They were experimenting on all these kids. And they created Akira, I guess, and then they fucked up. Tetsuo. Okay. Jesus Christ. It's fucking intense, man. Just the atmosphere and the fucking back and forth between memories and what's actually happening and the vastness of it all, how huge an event this all is, where it's all come from, where it's going. It's all here. None of it is just, oh, and then it blew up. It's all fully like detailed and explained, and there's fucking so much depth to it all. It's worth reading rather than having me just flip through it very, very quickly going, oh, this is really well drawn. It's worth giving it time to actually absorb the story and understand what the fuck is all happening. And then the mist clears of these two fucking powers colliding, leaving this fucking wreckage of a wasteland. They're all gone. Crabs. Of course crabs are still there. Crabs are fucking evolutionary wonders. Isn't that a thing I read that like crabs have evolved, or things have evolved into varieties of crab like hundreds of times? Maybe it's only like 8 times, but crabs are like a thing that just happen again and again. So many evolutionary pathways lead to crabs happening. Such a bizarre thing. And that's at the end of the book The Time Machine by H.G. Wells. You've got the whole story of the time machine, but then there's the last third or quarter where he's in the time machine and he just goes presses forward as fast as he can, cycles through the Earth's life, watches all life die out on the Earth until the point where the Earth's almost dying, until the atmosphere's gone and it's just like a red rock, like Mars basically. And then he sees these big rocks, but then he sees the big rocks moving, and it turns out something has evolved into these giant rock crabs that are slowly walking across the Earth as the only form of life that's left. Because crabs, man, they survive. The Great Tokyo Empire, ta-da! I guess they're all now getting back to living and adjusting to life post Akira, post Tetsuo, on their bikes, riding off into their potential. Let's go. Through the wreckage. Yamagata. Tetsuo. The ghosts of his friends from the past. God damn. Green hair, obviously. He is the Joker, obviously, after all. Obviously. Also, I don't want to put black in hair because I do want to... When I do the underpainting, I'll probably use dark red and black for the underpainting of most of it, just here. But I do want to use a bright green for the underpainting of the hair. Just get a brush full of bright green paint and go like this across this section, and then paint in the background and everything else around all the green. So that way it'll be bright green on white paper, so it should stand out against the dark background even more so than it would have previously. Because if I painting when you paint with paint, the colour you paint over is sometimes just as important to keep in mind as the colour you're painting with. Like yellow, for instance. If you paint yellow over a dark colour, depending on the colour, the yellow can come out looking green or shit, like brown or whatever. It can just look awful. So when you're painting with yellow, you really need to pay attention to what is underneath the yellow. White is usually the best. I find I get the best results with yellow when if I paint a yellow ochre underneath, I prefer to use yellow ochre as my yellow, but then if I do want like a more sort of a bright cadmium yellow, I find it best if I then work up to that, mixing yellow ochre, cadmium yellow and white together gradually to build up to a bright yellow. Or just say fuck it, leave the paper white or paint white down and then paint the yellow on top, and then darken it on top of that if needs be. But yeah, so if I paint the bright green on top of a dark red or a black background or underpainting, I'll get it to be a bright green, obviously. I'll do the necessary fucking bits, but it will look a lot brighter. I mean, now I'll be painting over this green biro, so it might end up looking shit because biro is really difficult to paint over because it's quite a permanent ink, is our ballpoint ink. So I might have ruined it by doing this ballpoint here. But the reason I'm doing this now is mainly for the thumbnail, because I want the thumbnail for this video to have Mr. Joker in there with his green hair. I want it to look sort of cool. So I'll add in some hatching as well to try to make it look cool or something. I don't fucking know. But yeah, I'd give you a little lesson on paint. Paint. Lots of work with paint. Have you seen Spaced? You should watch Spaced if you haven't seen the show Spaced. It's a good show, is Spaced. Spaced? It's a good show. If you are unaware of Spaced, it's a sitcom from like the late 90s, early 2000s by Edgar Wright directing, and then Simon Pegg and Nick Frost. It's basically like a pre-Shaun of the Dead sitcom, and it features a lot of similar sort of like tone and directing and acting and almost plot devices of Shaun of the Dead. The whole, there's the bit in Shaun of the Dead where so they're in, I think it's after the zombies, and they're in the Winchester pub, and then the guy with the glasses says something like something you and your boyfriend were having a tiff, and he goes, "It's not my boyfriend," and then Nick Frost hands him a drink and goes, "It might be a bit warm, the cooler's off," and then Simon Pegg goes, "Thanks, babe." This is not my boyfriend, and then he calls him babe like he's his boyfriend. That is a very similar scene to that is in Spaced, where Nick Frost's character calls Simon Pegg's character on the phone, and then the lady friend picks up the phone and says, "Oh, it's your boyfriend." And Simon Pegg says, "He's not my boyfriend." And then he picks up the phone and says, "Hi, babe." See, it's funny. It's so the Joker, eh? Oh my God! Did you catch the Battle of the Berrics, the game of skate between Paul Rodriguez and Niger Houston? Is that his surname, Houston? P-Rod and Niger playing skate. Man, if you're not into skateboarding, then fine. But I caught that video on YouTube, and fuck me, that's the sort of thing where, like, potentially, obviously it didn't, but that's the sort of game of skate that could potentially go on forever and ever, because that's two, I guess it's arguable, but it's two of the most recognizable best American skateboarders that exist in terms of like execution of flat ground tricks and such. Niger, he's one of the biggest there is currently, and P-Rod either is and or was for his time. So having those two go head to head in a game of skate, man, I can't remember who started, but I know P-Rod got an S, and then it was his turn, and he got Niger all the way to a T, and then P-Rod tried, what was it, a nollie back foot flip? No, it was a nollie late flip, but it was a nollie, they said on the screen, nollie late flip, but it was a nollie late front foot flip, which is, so you've got a nollie late flip where you nollie, and then after you're in the air, you kick the board so it flips, and then you land. But this was with the front foot, so he nollied, and then waited, and then with his front foot, flipped it. Tried that, didn't land it, so it was Niger's turn, and then Niger, I think he got a couple more letters on P-Rod, and then it was P-Rod's turn again, tried the nollie late front foot flip again, didn't land it, so it was Niger again. But then it got back around to being P-Rod's turn. P-Rod eventually, after a few other tricks, was a switch inward heel flip, and Niger couldn't quite get it. He got two turns. It was his last try. On the last letter, you get two tries on the last trick, and he just couldn't make that switch inward heel flip happen, and he lost it. And P-Rod won. Only just, but he won. So that was something. Excitement for the world of skateboarding. I mean, I guess. Lots of other things happen in the world of skateboarding. That's, there's There's other shows and videos out there on YouTube for that. So I draw pictures. I'm not a skateboard channel, but I like skating, so I talk. I quite like this picture of the Joker so far. I think it'll make a nice thumbnail. I think this would be a fun painting, and that's what I'd like to do. Again, I should experiment more with painting and stuff. Is have like most of it be really sort of like loose and heavy brush strokes and stuff, with just like blobs for showing where the highlights and everything are, and then really sort of render and put detail and hatching into like the faces. So have the detail, the amount of detail and rendering sort of spread out. So really detailed here, and then sort of less detailed and less detailed as it goes outwards, and then same here. So it's all just like a mess with a few sort of like points of detail within the centre. And then there'll be like splashes of red for the blood and stuff. Blood on his hands, blood on his face. I'll whip some red paint across it, so there'll be some splats here and there. Red here and here. Red lips, so it'll like tied together. I think that could be a fun one. Oh, there should be like a bat here or something. His logo. His branding. Batman's branding. See, if you really want to do a dark, edgy Batman, you should have him pull his shirt off, and he's got a bat like burnt into his chest. He's actually branded himself with a bat. Oh, have you seen the show Utopia? There's a different show called Utopia, and then there's an American remake of the show Utopia, but it's a British show, ran a short, closed couple of seasons, about this graphic novel that like people aren't sure quite who made it or how it was made, but there's like some secret message within the graphic novel, and that secret message ends up being this whole big conspiracy, and the government are involved, and it's a whole fucking thing. One of the characters in it has it's really, really fucking good. The music's great, it's well shot, it's well acted, the storyline's cool. It's a great show. Look it up if you can. Look for like bright yellow background with the word Utopia. That's sort of what you're looking for, because there's a few things called Utopia. But there's one character in particular who has an arc at the beginning. He's just sort of kind of into the conspiracy idea of this graphic novel, and he gets together with a few friends who meet online to talk about it. And then they get wrapped up in this whole thing, this whole mess of figuring out this conspiracy and evading government detection and stuff. And then he gets captured and shit happens to him, bad shit. And he ends up, I don't want to give it away, but I'm going to give it away. But he ends up sort of twisting kind of his view and sort of siding with the government on, or not necessarily the government, but the people in charge over this conspiracy, thinking they're kind of right. They've got a point with how they're looking at it. And then he takes over from this other person who was like the head. They were just sort of like a figurehead. They weren't actually necessarily in charge. But then in order to take that place, this figurehead was said to have a Chinese symbol, the Chinese figure of like rabbit or something carved into their stomach. So in order to take on the mantle of this figurehead, this character from the start ends up, you see him, he like carves, really nastily starts carving this symbol into his own stomach, to show that, you know, he's willing to take up, you know, this fucking heavy duty task of whatever. Branding himself with the mark of, like I was talking about Batman should do, to make it, fuck me, I don't know, you get it, look, it's the joke, everyone loves the Joker. That's one of those things that, like, if you draw on Instagram, for instance, if you draw Simpsons stuff, it gets quite a lot of attention. Batman and the Joker gets quite a lot of attention. You know, people like that shit, don't they? You know what I should do is it the Bat Who Laughs? That looks like a cross between Batman, Joker, and Judge Death. Almost no Joker actually at all. It's like this, isn't it? Like big laughy face. He's got like some kind of fucking iron grating over his eyes. This is how I remember it in my head. I've only ever really paid attention to an image of the Bat Who Laughs a couple of times. I've not really given it much time or attention. And then it's got like the fucking batties. But that's all like Judge Death from the Judge Dredd. He's got like a portcullis covering his eyes. He's got the sort of judge helmet, and then a big smiley toothy grin mouth, and then all the detail they put into the fucking Judge Dredd costumes. Such a pain in the ass to draw, man. Every time I try to draw Judge Dredd, it's just because he's got two shoulder pads. One is basically this, and so it's whatever, and then the other one is like an eagle, and it's got feet and a body, and its wing is the shoulder pad. And then he's got the chain and the badge is quite detailed, and then a zipper here, and then he's got elbow pads which are designed a certain way, and gloves which have like pouches and lines and zippers and stuff, and then his belt is all pouches with a shield in the front, and then he's got knee pads which are similar to the elbow pads, and his boots look a certain way, and they've got loads of detail, and it's just the most fucking annoying fucking thing to draw. To draw Judge Dredd is one thing, but then to draw Judge Dredd like doing stuff, like jumping around and bending and moving and shooting, it's just so fucking annoying. Which is one of the reasons I love like Spider-Man, because you just draw a body. And apparently Seth MacFarlane used to sort of, I can't remember who he was talking to, I think it was maybe like Jim Lee or someone who was doing X-Men comics, and they were like talking on the phone while they were inking comics together or whatever. And like, if it was Jim Lee or whoever, I think they were doing X-Men, so they were drawing like, you know, 7 characters again and again, panel per panel, page by page, each in different detailed costumes. And then McFarlane was like, oh, I'm drawing a human body, and then it gets coloured in blue and red. Because that's all you have to do for Spider-Man, is just draw a human body. No hair, no facial features really. You don't have to put in too much detail of muscles and things. As long as you get like the suit like lines with the red and the blue meat and whatever, get the webbing in there as a final, like an afterthought almost. The most difficult part of drawing Spider-Man is just sort of the webbing, which McFarlane sort of invented, the webbing that comes out in several strands with other strands wrapping around itself. Because it used to just be, I saw an interview where McFarlane mentioned how, you know, if you have Spider-Man's hand doing the thing, shooting the web out, it used to be the webbing would do this. Like, that's literally all it would be. And then if the webbing was coming toward the camera, it would just get bigger and bigger like that. The lines wouldn't necessarily get thicker or anything. It would just be grey here, and it just looks like whatever. So then Todd McFarlane, was I calling him Seth MacFarlane? I might have been calling him Seth MacFarlane, which is the Family Guy guy, and there's no need for us to mention him ever. Todd McFarlane designed the webs that are like several strands with other strands going around them and bits like this. So then when that came closer to the camera, you were able to see more of the detail and stuff. It just looked a lot better. And that's pretty fucking great as far as designing webs go. So that is almost the hardest part to draw of Spider-Man. as long as you know anatomy and you can draw bodies and shit, that's cool. But then when it comes to drawing the web to make it look sort of good, and if it's coming towards the camera, to make it look like it's tubes wrapping around other tubes and shit, it's a whole fucking thing. I don't know. I may try and video me painting this, because that could be quite a cool one to watch. Do you like how I've got the camera angled? Because I like showing like this. I've got my post-it notes here. Oh shit, I forgot to mention. I was going to end saying, I'll try and paint this and enjoy. With playing Fallout, I've also been rewatching Simpsons right from the very start, season 1, episode 1. Again, to sort of just absorb it so it's in my head. So when I'm drawing the comic, I have that information in my head ready to go. And in the very first season, a few episodes in, and I remember having it on VHS tape, watching the episode where Marge, it's her birthday, and Homer buys her a bowling ball because he doesn't know what to get her, and he sees a bowling ball, and he's like, wow, and he buys that for her, and has it engraved with his name, obviously intending to like, well, she's not going to use it, so I'll have it. But then Marge gets angry, and she's like, well, I am going to use it, and she takes it to the bowling alley, meets this French guy, Jacques, who's like a bowling expert, and he teaches her to bowl, and they kind of almost sort of have an affair, but not quite. But then they go out for Marge's birthday, the family, not her and Jacques, where Homer gives her the bowling ball as a present. And the people in the restaurant are singing happy birthday to her, and they go, happy 34th birthday, Mrs. Homer Simpson, happy birthday to... She's turning 34 in the very first season of The Simpsons. When I first saw that, when I had the VHS tape and I watched it over and over and over, I always heard happy 34th birthday, Mrs. Homer Simpson. But I was a kid. I was fucking 6, 7, 8 years old, maybe younger. And I figured, well, yeah, 34, that's an adult. That's, Marge Simpson's an adult. Which means at the start of the season, she was 33, which is how old I am now. I'm the same age as Marge Simpson, which is weird. I know it's not that weird. It's like, well, yeah, because that's how age works. But it's considering I've had a crush on her since I was that age, since I was watching, like forever, I've had a crush on Marge Simpson. And now I'm the same age as Marge Simpson. Like, she's a MILF, but like, she's not an older MILF, not to me, certainly, not now, currently. She's may as well have been in the same school, right now. Obviously, I think The Simpsons first aired the year I was born, so she's actually 33 years ahead of me. She'd be fucking 66 now, but I don't know. It was an interesting thing, I thought. She's sexy, yeah? Marge Simpson, she's sexy.